If you are posting on LinkedIn in 2026 the same way you did in 2025, then you are already behind. Look, I've grown from 176 connections to over 2k followers in just a few months after building my Twitter accounts to 7k followers and over 10 million views. I've landed tens of ghostwriting deals with agencies, coaches, startups, and helped my students like Hussein close 15 high-ticket deals, and Philip gained over 1k followers in just 7 days. And I didn't build my audience 3 years ago. I built it last year. So when I tell you LinkedIn is fundamentally changing in 2026, I'm not guessing. I'm seeing it happen real time across my clients and students. In this video, I'm going to break down what's shifting in the LinkedIn algorithm and why 99% of creators are getting left behind. And most importantly, the specific tactics that you should be implementing to stay ahead. Important things that we need to focus on to stay ahead in 2026. And the first one is hooks. And hooks are more important than ever in 2026 because there's so much content right now. The supply is increasing exponentially, but content demand is still the same. That's why it's even more important to actually hook the reader in, because they are just scrolling on social media and we need to capture their attention if we want them to actually read our posts. So just like any other social media, hooks are super important on LinkedIn too, because even if on LinkedIn there are really like smart, sophisticated people, they are still just scrolling on LinkedIn and we need to capture their attention. By hooks, I mean the only first two lines, because when you post on LinkedIn, first the people can only just see the first two lines, so those two lines are the hook. And what I like to focus on is first line for generating attention and second line to create curiosity, like a curiosity gap, so that people don't have the full picture when they just read the first two lines, but they are now curious and they are a gap, so that they click here the show more button, so that they want to read the rest of the post. Creating curiosity is the most important part of the hooks, because when they read the hook, if they don't want to learn more, they simply won't click show more, so they'll just scroll right past. And when it comes to technical side of the hooks, the first line, it shows approximately like 65 characters max, so you can have a bit longer line in the first line so that you can basically take advantage of it and actually get their attention with a bit more context maybe. But in the second line, only 45 characters are shown due to this ... more button, or basically thing that you can click. So since this also takes some space, on the second line you can basically have a bit less characters, maybe 50 characters. So make sure you take this into consideration, because if you put a really long line in the second line, people won't see the full line and they may not get the full like curiosity effect from the second line, because they may not be able to see the full second line. So this is basically how you can hook people's attention. First line attention, and then second line create curiosity, and also be careful with the character limits of each line. And if you want to build your brand on LinkedIn and get clients with just 1 hour a month of your time, we can handle everything for you. From creating your content to your profile, positioning, finding your target market and engaging with them. We also send personalized DMs to generate leads and book sales calls for you. So all you have to do is take those sales calls and close the clients. If that sounds interesting to you, you can click the first link in the description and learn more about it. And the second step to maximize the algorithm is the community building aspect. Now creating an engaged community is more important than ever, because the algorithm always wants to show engaged content to other people, so that they can basically enjoy the content and stay on the platform more. And this is how the algorithm understands if your content is engaging. So first, when you post something, it first shows it to maybe your closest circle, and if they engage with the post, the algorithm thinks that okay, this post has some potential, so it shows it to maybe more of your followers. And when more of your followers engage with the post, the algorithm thinks that okay, maybe this post has even more potential, this is like a really engaging post, so now it shows it to maybe second degree connections, or if it's a few people like outside your network. So these people may not know you personally, so if these people engage with your post, the algorithm thinks that okay, this post is like really engaging, so I should show it to like even more people. And that's how you can get viral posts. But you need to realize that if you want to get these viral posts, first your close circle and your audience needs to engage with your post, otherwise it won't be shown to new people. And that's why it's really important to build an engaged network, not just dead followers to show that you have like 500 connections or like 10k followers. Basically that count is not important, because even if you have 10k followers, if your followers don't engage with your posts, like nobody else will see your post. So that's why it's really important to attract high quality, engage with people, and actually care about your audience, engage with them, so that you can like get more engagement from your audience and get even more reach. You don't need to engage for 2 hours a day, but it's good to know that you have your engaged community and whatever you post will get at least some amount of engagement, so that your post will always get new eyeballs and get new traffic. So you also don't need to rely on going viral in this case. Okay, let's move on. So the third thing that we need to focus on in order to get ahead in the new algorithm is the post structure. Basically this means starting broad and then finishing it with specific examples or with more specificity. So this kind of goes hand in hand with hook, because with hook we are basically generating attention and then we want to go more specific. But most people's hooks are kind of too specific that it doesn't relate to a more broader audience, so they don't get enough engagement and their posts get kind of stuck. What we want to do is keep the hook broad, so that we want to attract like a lot more people, but still keep it specific enough so that we actually attract relevant people and not just random people. And after we attract a lot of broad but relevant people, then we need to basically direct the post so that it gets more specific, and then at the end, basically, if you have a call to action, or maybe you want to like direct people somewhere, it's even more specific, but you have the basically right direction to lead them that way. So let's give an example for this. So let's say I help people grow on LinkedIn. What I can do is start the post with problems or challenges that most people want to grow on LinkedIn have, so that I can attract a lot of people, but still keep it niche and kind of relevant, so that we attract people that have these specific problems. But as the post progresses, we can focus on more and more specific problems, so that at the end of the post, when we have a call to action, we can just have the right people. But in the beginning of the post, we still attracted a lot of relevant people, got a lot of engagement, and got a lot of reach for our posts. And the last part that I want to cover is iteration, because most people just post content and they don't look back to see like how well their content performed, or basically what they can do less of, what they can do more of. So they just post content and just log out, and they don't even analyze it. So what I like to do is first post a lot of stuff, a lot of different angles, and see what sticks basically. So after that, when you have enough data, you can iterate on what works. So what I like to do is, both when it comes to my post but also other people's posts, if I see that that post is doing well, I save it. And then after that, if it's my post, I wait like at least a month to kind of create a new version of it. But if it's another person's post, and if it's kind of like a viral post, I like to do it like as soon as possible, which is like creating a variation of it. So what's really important here is that we are going off of proving angles instead of trying to reinvent stuff, because finding an existing signal is always a lot more easier than creating a new one. So instead of just posting stuff and logging out, bi-weekly you can just look at your previous content and see what worked and what didn't work. If the post didn't work, don't create variations of it, just focus on the angles that worked and create new variations of it and just test it maybe after a few weeks. But if it's like a really viral post, you can still post it again. I sometimes do that, but in that case I would wait at least a month or maybe 2 months to post the exact same post or a very similar post. So that's exactly what's changing on LinkedIn in 2026 and how you need to adapt your strategy. I just released a full-length free LinkedIn course on YouTube where I break down my entire system from profile optimization to content strategy to client acquisition. Everything I used to go from 176 followers to 6-figure opportunities. It's the same system my clients use to book calls in 2 weeks, gain over 1k followers in just 7 days, and close high-paying clients in their first month. Click the video on the screen to watch the full course, and it's completely free. It's everything you need to dominate LinkedIn in 2026 while everyone is posting like it's 2024. See you in that video.